that we're talking about the Browns outside the box thinking and hiring Paul DePodesta. And I don't know if you know Paul, but he's very, very bright. He's obviously been in baseball for 20 years. His first love is football. And I think that if you're a really bright person, you're going to succeed in things that you do. I don't think it's a bad hire. What's your take?
It's so funny. It's so incestual, the leagues, like baseball is, and the NFL, and that's why we see coaches that have shown success keep coming back. You know what I mean? Because there's just not very many that people really believe in, and so it's just you find yourselves retreading things because I think a lot of teams don't think outside the box. They're not willing to make take the big chance. But I don't think it's that hard. I think really smart. Guys that have managed before, that understand the basics, get a lot. Like to me, I'm fine with that as long as you have some great football people around him that can say to him, "Here's the ones that we want. Here's the guys that we don't want. And then he can now start to put the team together. The problem is there's no way he can know himself because you have to have a long-term history. You can't make money as an adult without playing as a kid. I mean, I know I'm wrong on Akeem Olajuwon. I said that a few weeks ago and said, well, what about Akeem Olajuwon? I was like, well, if you're 7 feet and you're really athletic, I think you probably could. But other than that, and so to me, being in another, sport is a risk. But as long as the football guys, the things he's good at, he's going to be good at with the Browns. The things he's been good at before, he'll be good at again, except for don't tell me that he's now going to understand how to pick the football guy, to know which guy can play. Now, personalities in a locker room, I think locker rooms are similar. Baseball needs leadership. Football needs leadership. Understanding those dynamics of getting guys in the locker room that matter, I think that can translate. I could pick a baseball player who could be great in the locker room. I'd be around him. I know that guy. So that part works. But the football part, don't tell me you're going to go pick football players. That doesn't make it.
And I don't know how much you follow the analytics of other sports, but I think one of the reasons why it doesn't seem to really translate to football is for the reasons that you said. The emotions, the leadership, the policing the locker room. It just seems like baseball. I can plug in. I need a guy with a better on-base percentage. We'll get this guy. I need a guy with a better earn-run average. I'll get this guy. Is that why football maybe isn't as stat-driven as the other sports are?
Well, there's not much, very much so. In fact, the ultimate challenge is to try to figure out the algorithms for quarterbacks, like who can actually play the sport, who can actually be good at this, and it goes on. That's the hardest one. But there's no easy ones. There's no right tackle that comes out of Clemson that's going to be the can't miss guy that you really know. You're not really sure. Where baseball has the farm system, and you really have a sense of who's and the analytics really do prove out. Like this guy can't hit left-handed pitching, but he can pull the ball. Like there's all kinds of things that actually fit. Football, it really is. It's an unnatural sport. Like nobody plays it because it's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to put on the pads and go ram somebody. You have to have there's a purpose, and it comes out of the locker room. And who do you play for, and why? And how am I incented week to week, day to day, to go to work and actually ram other people because of I believe in the Giants, or I believe in Tom Coughlin, I believe in the Mariners, or I believe in my teammates. And so it's all those things. At baseball, it is a more plug and play. Like a guy's great pitcher in Toronto, he's a great pitcher in Texas. There's some challenges there in the locker room. That's why some of the great teams that figure that out are. But I agree with you, Don. It is completely different in how you put teams together. You can't just plug and play.
We're talking to the great Steve Young here on the Michael K. Show. Now, before we talk about the Tom Coughlin situation, Steve, if you're Gary Kubiak, are you starting Peyton Manning in 2 weeks?
No.
Really?
No. Peyton, you can tell he can't drive off the back leg. But he's a warrior. John Wayne. I mean, I thought when he came in, he's like, oh my gosh, I almost feel,
Right.
I mean, like it was like here it comes, the gun. Like I just felt that moment, like he's going to get it done, and he did because he's smart and he's capable and all the things we talked about for years and years with him. He can't drive the ball. Now, next week he might be able to. Maybe it gets better, but he's definitely hampered. So I was thinking about this because I didn't know that I was going to talk to you guys, but I was actually thinking to myself, what would I do? Would I start him? And I thought no, because if in a playoff game. You don't even have a half, because by halftime, if something's gone awry, you can't fix it. Sometimes, but I mean, I've done enough play of football. You can't waste a quarter or two. You just can't. So I would. There's the challenges for Peyton that he would face if somebody got the game plan him for 2 weeks. I think would make it really difficult. But coming off the bench, and I would tell Brock, Peyton's going to come in and out of this game. Like you two we're going to roll you in and out, however I feel, whatever my gut tells me, because Peyton couldn't come in and spot and change the game, which he did. But unless I see something new with how he's delivering the football and how he's capable, I would have him be the John Wayne to come in and fix something that might be a little slightly awry or change the dynamics or tilt the field or whatever. But the whole game, I don't know what did you guys see? I felt like he can't drive it right now because of injury. It's a 9-month injury.
Wouldn't Gary Kubiak have known that? And that was important for the Broncos to win that game, and he brought him in. He thought this is going to be better than Osweiler.
Right. But it was. It was a part. It was great. Because what happens in a game, when you have 2 weeks to focus, isolate on somebody, and you get a plan, it's tough to go for, but all of a sudden you get into a game, you got one game plan, you get somebody else, and the game started, and now you're in the flow, and people have forgotten what I studied, and now I just got to go play football. That's why fourth quarter football is so crazy. It's because the game's been gone, people are tired, and so the impact that a guy can come in who knows what he's doing is great. So I feel like you get the most of Brock Osweiler early, and you get the most of Peyton Manning late. And maybe in the injury, if I'm misreading the injury and he really is able to deliver the football, then beat Manning all day long.